Hi there. My name is John. I'm a believer and follower of Jesus Christ. I was born in Toronto, and I need to talk to you about something today. And that is a prevalent issue. It's so in our face, it's so around us that a lot of times we don't see this issue. And this issue is swearing and cursing. Now, many people are affected by this in ways that they might not understand. And the Bible tells us a lot of things about the effects of cursing and swearing. For example, when Peter was rejecting Jesus, when he was denying him 3 times, it says he began in Matthew 26:74. It says he began to curse and to swear and say that Jesus was not the Christ. So ultimately, this cursing and swearing, as we see, is a rejection of the will of God. If you look again in Numbers 22, you see that Balaam was hired by Balak to curse the children of Israel. These things are not non-issues. Our voice, our words, what's being said, what comes out of our mouth is a part of us. And so when we curse one another, those curses come back to us. What goes around comes around. The Bible actually says this. And if we live by that law, eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, if we go around cursing people, putting people down, those things are going to come back to us. So it's to our own best interest that we don't do these things. Today we are taught to curse. We're taught to swear. We're taught to make oaths in the names of gods. We're taught to look up to idols of people, musicians, entertainers, movie stars, who all use cursing and swearing as if it's some sort of game, it's funny. But really, what you're doing when you're doing this is you're casting stones upon yourself. We see Jesus in the Bible. He never cursed. He never swore. He spoke kind words. And the words he spoke to us on this issue are to love your enemies, to do good to those that would harm you. So if you have a problem with someone, cursing them is not a solution. And I've seen many people who are following, say, rappers like Eminem, who use cursing as a means of control. It's a means of putting people down. It's a means of expressing yourself by looking at the negative aspects of life rather than looking to what is positive. If we're not in Christ, then we're going to be lost to these things. We're not going to have a direction that shows us speaking kind words is more available. It's easier. It's a much more loving kind of lifestyle. And that lifestyle returns to us each time we put it out there. Speak life and you'll get life back. I want you all to look around you and to see how the attitudes of a person who curses a lot of the time, who's always swearing by this name or by that name, that they will never do this, in generalizations, that their life is made harder by these things. The people who curse the worst many times are worse off in their sin. They're off in a tangent, they're involved in drug use, and there's no limit to how low you can go. But this is a very subtle way. We know that God created all things by His Word. He spoke, and all things were created. That is the power of words. So if we see in that power that our words of life are reflected in generating life and giving life to others, so too are our words of death. If your neighbor, someone, your friend, your person you're with, something happens, they turn against you, if you curse them, if you return that curse, you're going to create a cycle of abuse. It's a downward spiral. In life, we build the Mount Zion. We build each other up. We speak words of love and life. We're trying to build with one another to exchange these words. But if we're exchanging words of death and cursing and swear words, we're digging a hole for ourselves respectively. So I hope that each of you would take the time, would take the heart to try and stop this cycle. Don't curse one another. Jesus said to bless your enemy. Bless those that curse you, He said. Don't curse them back. Don't return evil for evil. John said That if you're angry with your brother, you're a murderer. It's all subtlety. It's found in the heart. And what is in our heart is where our treasure is. So I hope you're blessed today by this. I hope you can speak those words of life, that you can love one another, and that goodness comes out of you. Praise the Lord.